very much
Yeah,
for joining us. How are you doing today?
I'm actually really excited to be here. I hope you can hear me okay. No,
That's
it's an
all.
absolute pleasure to be here. It is early or late, depending on how you look at the time. So it's an honor to be here. So thank you very much, Mr. Musa.
That's amazing. I mean, you looks a very flexible and accommodative person, and that's the quality of a successful woman. So, Tima, like, I want you to please introduce yourself to the global audience. Please go ahead.
So basically, my name is Tima, and I run a company called Tima Media and Consulting. But for many, many years, for about 16 years, I was in the finance industry for about 16 years. And in about 2018, I decided to basically leave the financial planning industry and start a completely new business and also start a podcast. So that was like my passion. That was my reason for leaving the financial planning industry, and I really wanted something to be a lot more fulfilling for me. But I've been listening to the other speakers, and the topic of, I guess, the main topic of today is really empowering women and just really helping women really be who they really want to be in the end and live the life that they want. So I really want to touch on how I've been able to create my social presence digitally, which has also helped me not only grow my brand, but really helped me really introduce this business that I have right now, which is a media company where we help CEOs become thought leaders on the LinkedIn platform. And that really just came through basically just taking a chance on myself and believing in myself and actually doing something completely different and building something from scratch. What I really wanted to touch on today is not only how I grew my personal brand, but some of the things that we help our clients with in terms of really growing their brand online. And when I'm talking about a brand, I'm talking about your personal brand. And this is how we communicate our value. We communicate our value through our own personal brand, because what that is really who we are in the real world, but infusing that in the digital world. And the way that I infuse that into the digital world is really tapping into my emotional intelligence. And that's something that is really, really key to really understanding how to communicate with people on a deep level. So when we're looking at emotional intelligence, what we're really talking about there is how do we manage our own emotions and how do we manage people's emotions so that we can really create influence in their lives and really help them with the decision-making process, especially when it comes to communicating with people through video content, much like what we're doing right now, which is through a live presentation. So some of the points that I really wanted to touch on, and I wish I could show you the presentation, but basically the three key things is really, one is clarity. It doesn't matter how small or how big your business is, or even if you're just an individual, it's really, really important to have that clarity as to why you are building a brand for yourself. Why, what is your why? You know, what is your purpose? What is your mission? Those are the sort of things that you need to have clarity around, because if you don't have that clarity, you really don't know where you're going to be guiding yourself when you are looking at communicating your content with people online, because that clarity is extremely important to really be able to build that connection. The next point is as I was saying, connection. You need to feel really connected to whatever it is that you're trying to achieve. If you are say, for example, a coach, or you're in the finance industry and your focus is just purely to make money, people will actually feel that. You need to be connected to something that is a lot bigger than who you are, and the mission needs to be a lot bigger than your own existence. And when you are connected to something that is a lot bigger than what you're trying to achieve for yourself personally, this is one of the most magical ways where you can actually build a community of people that become advocates of your mission. So we've looked at clarity, we've looked at connection, and the other thing is consistency as well. Consistency is one of the keys when it comes to success in general. Some people get really disheartened and think, well, I've been posting content for, say, once a week or once every couple of weeks, and they're not getting that traction. If you look at consistency with really anything, you're building that muscle where you are teaching yourself these habits on a regular basis to not only just post regularly, but also communicate with things regularly so that it helps you become a lot more creative, be more engaged with your audience, and really help you be able to really make an impact that way. Because sometimes people really get confused around this concept of visibility and the numbers and the likes, or the lack of likes and comments. And they also assume that their network will watch their content every single time they post it, which is actually not true. So we need to assume that a small percentage of people that are in your network will only see your content. So building that consistency as part of your plan is really going to help you build that influence that you really want to create online. And one of the things that I want to focus on is really I'm having that self-awareness. Self-awareness has come up quite a bit in a lot of the conversations today. If you have that self-awareness and really understand what your own values are, and also what your natural gifts are, and you put those two together and you create content around that, but also being very specific to your audience and really tapping into that emotional intelligence, as I mentioned, it's such a powerful way to be able to create content that really speaks to people's souls and really allows you to connect with people. One other thing that I also really recommend is for people to really engage with people online. Express yourself through your comments. That's also content as well. That's also another way to be able to communicate your value. And when I talk about communicating your value, what I'm really talking about there is one, speaking through your own values as an individual, speaking through the values of your company, but also speaking through your purpose as to whatever it is that you're trying to achieve and what your mission is out there. So they're really the things that I really wanted to cover tonight. It's unfortunate that I didn't have the presentations to show you, but I would love for people to actually reach out to me on LinkedIn if they have any questions. I just want to quickly double check and make sure that I haven't forgotten anything. But do you have any questions so far, Mr. Musa, at all?
That's amazing tips. I can see the group. I'm a group CEO and leading 14 CEOs under me. So I feel that your suggestions are really useful and valuable. I have a question. Like generally, as you said, that some people they make their pages and they want to brand themselves, but they don't get that good response. So, what is your suggestion to them that what they should do to make it better? Is the where the problems mostly lies as an expert? What you see into?
So one, they need to look at all. I mean, the numbers. Okay, I understand that people are a little bit, focused on numbers, but much like anything, it takes a long time to build trust with people, because you've got to remember the people that are actually connecting with you online, they don't know who you are. And it's really a trust situation. And the way to do that is by educating people and giving people information that they are going to apply in their life and actually make a difference. So there is a huge element of not talking about yourself and not focusing about yourself or your story, and really adding as much value as possible and educating people through content that is going to really help them make changes in their life. So there's a lot of free advice that needs to be given, a lot of very short content, 1 to 2 minute videos, not going over the top and getting straight to the point, but also engaging with their community and also taking those conversations offline and going into the direct messages. I cannot tell you how many hours I spend offline to be able to build the community that I have. It's not just what you see on the screen, it's really what happens behind the screen. So that's really how you build a network and how you build a community of people that really believe in what you do. Because if you're not investing in them, they're investing time in your content. Even if it's 1 or 2 minutes, it's 2 minutes of their life that they're investing in you. So it only makes sense for you to invest that back into those people as well, and really helping them really make a difference in their life. So, but that consistency is really, really important as well.
That's really useful. And there is also, I observe that some people, they believe in not too many connections. They just want to bring the quality connections. So do you agree with them or no? Like, for example, for me, 10 years before, my contacts reached to 30,000 in LinkedIn. And somehow I believe sometimes, because I don't know much of them, and but still I have a lot of contacts. So I mean, is it useful or no? We should only have the one that is precisely known to us.
Well, there's two levels I look at when it comes to the connections. So one, you need the mass that is going to help you spread your message. You know, the people that aren't necessarily ever going to work with you or become your client, and that's okay. There are a lot of people out there that are like that, and they're the ones that are going to help spread your message because they're the ones that really love what you have to say. They know that they'll never work with you, but they just genuinely love what you have to share because they feel like it's really valuable in their life, or it lifts up their mood, or it makes them feel inspired. So you need to look at it in one aspect there. The other layer is, well, who is your target audience and how do we speak directly to them? What are the emotive words that they are thinking and feeling in the moment? So, for example, if someone is going to look for something specific to your industry, think of the questions that they would be typing in Google, and that should be the type of content that you should be creating so that you can reach to that audience as well. Now, you've got to remember your network 10 years ago would have been a lot fresher. My question is, well, how dormant is your network? How engaged are they? And how engaged are you with your network as well when it comes to not only just your content, but also having those discussions behind the scenes, maybe engaging on their profiles as well. So there are quite a bit to sort of really look at there, but that sort of covers some of the things that you've asked.
You're really right that it's very important to keep your community engaged because just having a community is not a big deal. I mean, there are paid clicks, there are paid contacts that you can bring into by paying to LinkedIn and other medias, but how effectively you use them is a really important challenge to anyone. That's great. So, what would be your closing thoughts of the day?
My closing thoughts is we need more women on the platform and more women from diverse backgrounds. And one of the reasons why I feel that my content does really, really well is because I'm different. You know, I obviously don't look like a Western person, and there's nothing wrong with being a Western person, by the way. It's just that I represent another community of women and a community of people where people actually resonate with that. And we need a lot more women that have a real mission and a real purpose, and they are willing to put themselves out there. It's not just about just being on someone's screen. It's really wanting to be a force and really being a powerhouse where you actually want to make a difference in the world. And LinkedIn is a fantastic place, not even just LinkedIn, just creating a brand for yourself. You know, that brand is invaluable. No one can take that away from you. That's your reputation. And having that digital brand and building that social currency, like, you cannot put a price on that because you don't know where it's going to take you. I cannot tell you how many opportunities have come my way purely because of my brand. The people that I've interviewed on my podcast, I've interviewed the most successful people globally. I achieve close to 1 million views a month on my content. I mean, the amount of reach that I get is incredible. And people not only do they have respect for me purely because of just the number, but also because they know that I have a really fantastic reputation, and my reputation is built not just through my content; it's the behind the scenes. So I highly encourage these women that are just watching today. If this is something that you've been thinking about for a long, long time, all you need to do is just think of what is the impact you want to have on people's lives, and actually work backwards and share your message and be very consistent with it.
That's amazing. I think Khalud already told me about your network, and I wish you good luck for that. And
Thank you.
Berkeley is fully supportive for your network. We can co-share everything that you are looking for. And with this broadcast, of course, a lot of people are listening, and post-broadcast, there will be a lot of publicity on this thing. So I hope that things will really work for you. And I want to thank you very much for joining tonight.
Thank
And
you.
special thanks to you because you wake up whole the night and watch our program and contribute to it. This is really impressive and amazing.
No, it's my pleasure. And I'm sorry the presentation didn't work, but if anybody has any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to me on LinkedIn. Thank you very much for having me.
That's amazing. So